This is actually happening. I thought maybe they would come to their senses. But Speaker Boehner's lawsuit against President Obama is moving forward. Today, the House Rules Committee approved the legislation with a partisan 7-4 vote. They accused the president of abusing his executive authority.
Unfortunately, the president has ignored the requirements of the Constitution. Instead, he has selectively enforced the law.
Whether you love the law or hate the law, you believe the law ought to be implemented.
This lawsuit is the latest laughable attempt for party leaders to appease a far-right fringe that's never accepted this president as legitimate. And it's Speaker Boehner's attempt to pacify the radical right that keeps calling Obama lawless, suing him over everything.
President Barack Obama's legacy will be, and I predicted this a year ago, the establishment of lawlessness in the United States of America.
There is the pattern of lawlessness in this administration. Ignoring law after law after law.
We have an increasingly lawless presidency.
The president has lawlessly decided which parts of Obamacare to implement and which parts not to implement.
But these attacks have only energized the president. He's vowed to take action, and he's even had a little fun mocking it.
You hear some of them. They're like, sue him, impeach him. Really? Really? For what? You're going to sue me for doing my job? They plan to sue me for taking executive actions that are within my authority while they do nothing. I have a better idea. They should do something.
The resolution is headed to the House for a full vote sometime next week. There's so much work to do on jobs, infrastructure, immigration. And this is what they're focusing on. Good luck with this one. Joining me now is Congresswoman Jackie Speier, Democrat of California. Thank you for being here, Congresswoman.
Thank you, Reverend.
House Republicans are backing the lawsuit to sue the president. What's your reaction to that?
You know, give them credit. They get flashcards every morning of the words they're supposed to use, and they use them like they are minor birds responding to the call. It is really preposterous, and, you know, it's red meat for their base, no question about it. But it's gristle for everyone else in this country who recognizes that this administration is trying to do something for the American people. 8 million people have health insurance today that didn't have it before. What the executive action taken by the president is just to postpone the implementation of the employer mandate, something that the Republicans have asked us to do over and over again with the Affordable Care Act as one of their ploys to not have it implemented. They wanted to postpone its implementation for a year, but now they want to sue the president for postponing implementation of one component of it.
And when you talk about executive action, what was interesting to me, Congresswoman, is today Speaker Boehner, and remember Boehner was the first that announced the lawsuit against the president, he's actually calling for the president to take action. Watch this.
We've got a humanitarian crisis on the border, and that it has to be dealt with. The president clearly isn't going to deal with it on his own, even though he has the authority to deal with it on his own.
I mean, you almost can't believe it. I mean, is he serious? He's now saying he has the authority to move on his own. And this lawsuit is backfiring. The day after the announcement, the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee raised $584,000. That's the most it raised in a single day this year. Last month, the DCCC raised $4.5 million in grassroots donations. And now the DCCC is using the lawsuit as part of their 2014 campaign with ads and robocalls in an effort to, quote, contrast Republicans focused on suing the president with Democrats who are focused on economic solutions for the middle class. I mean, this lawsuit could really backfire on them, Congresswoman.
Well, I think it is backfiring. They're moving forward because it would look bad optically not to after they made such a big rollout about it. But I think you're going to see polling results are going to be so I think negative on this that they're going to have to find some way to soften this, because it could actually help us gain a number of seats. The American people are sick and tired of the games, and that's all that seems to be played on the other side.
And games, again, I go back to what I said. He's suing the president over taking executive action of having authority. And then today he says that he has the authority to take action. The same Speaker Boehner. Let me play it for you again. This is him today.
We've got a humanitarian crisis on the border, and that it has to be dealt with. The president clearly isn't going to deal with it on his own, even though he has the authority to deal with it on his own.
I mean, is he serious? He has the authority to deal with it on his own, on the humanitarian efforts needed at the border, but he's suing him over using his authority in the Affordable Care Act, Congresswoman?
So we need to appropriate funds so that we can take action on the border. So Congress must do something. It's also important to point out that when George Bush was president and suspended the rollout of the Medicare Part D, the prescription drug benefit, for 1 year, they didn't make any bones about that. They didn't like stand up and want to sue the president over that. So I think it's very apparent to the public that this is a game, and they find it disgusting, and I think it's going to hurt the Republicans come November. And it's costing money. You know, the last lawsuit was $2.3 million. God only knows how much this one is going to cost us as taxpayers.
Big waste of time and money. Congresswoman Jackie Speier, thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you.